say, Jack, look out. Back with another banger in today's video by Capone, and we finna see how Buddy got backdoored by one of his people. So let's jump into this video and see what happened.
But I went to his crime scene. His crime scene. Oh, I go through that alley. You see the studio that he walked out of. You see the back entrance of the studio that he walked out of. You see where the guys was waiting for him at the corner and shit. When I guess he waiting for his ride to pick him up. Right now, he would have been a star, but he was backdoored.
Of course he was backdoored.
He was backdoored. They set him up. He went to go record a song. He walked out the studio. His opposite
went down there and shit, and, you know,
shout out to Tasty Honey.
Basically, long story
shout out to that dude.
The doctors came out with the news, and they told me, and it just got ugly from like that. That shit was wild as hell.
L.A. Capone was more than just a rapper. He was a beacon of hope for the younger kids on the streets of Chicago. But behind the scenes, a darker story is filled with betrayal, jealousy, and danger. But how does a young legend in the making go from lighting up the studio to being tragically taken out by those close to him? Bro was just on his way to lighting up music, but his ops were waiting for him. In this video, we'll dive deep into L.A. Capone, the rapper backdoored by the people he trusted. There's a saying that the streets have a code, but when it's broken, the consequences are deadly. Leonard Anderson, known as the legendary L.A. Capone, grew up in the South Side Chicago with parents who were both separated. Since then, he's taken on the role of the man in the house, supporting his mother and sisters, a responsibility that has shaped his character and influenced his music. One thing y'all need to know is that L.A. Capone was born in the 1990s, and the 1990s is often remembered as a decade of peace, prosperity, and the rise of the internet, which is also a part of Generation Y, also called millennials. This era was kind of special with a lot of kids raised under the mantra, follow your dreams, and being told that they were special. That was where L.A. Capone was raised, and he was already becoming special because, at the age of 4, he was already smart, reading books and playing with normal rhymes that would later transition into musical aspirations. However, at the age of 5, his talents became evident, as he was already showing signs of being a rapper.
He had been rapping since like 5 years old.
In the video, you can see how his family members also confessed the talent he had when he was alive. L.A. was into the music game, giving good bars at a very early age. His first ever rap bars were, "I got an uncle named Jeremy and an uncle named Pooh." You would think that there was not a lot of meaning to this. Still, I can tell you for free that L.A. was rap bars referencing, "I got an uncle named Jeremy and an uncle named Pooh. One got a name and one got two." There's a glimpse into his life and the personal connections he had with family members. These lines reflect how, like many young men in Chicago, family ties often played a significant role in shaping their lives in the home and in the streets of Chicago. At that time, he was still fresh and very young, without affiliations with any gang. So his mom decided that he should stay a while with his dad because she felt it was the right thing to do growing up with his father around him, coupled with a lot of advice and support. So for 5 years, L.A. was with his dad in Atlanta. Moving out there, L.A. got to see a different world and experience life differently. He was making friends with families deeply into the hip-hop game, like T.I. and Wayne's daughters, who had their group, the OMG Girls.
And he used to be with the OMG Girls. Those girls was those was some of his friends that he hung with.
OMG?
Yeah, you remember OMG Girls, T.I. and Tiny daughter?
Oh!
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Oh, Lil Wayne's daughter and Tiny Tim.
Damn.
Yeah.
During his stay with his dad, Bro attended a school to achieve his honors. He was also an MVP football star in his school days. Check them out. Here are different photos of him. It was around the 8th grade when he experienced the big loss when he lost his dad. L.A. was so pained that he had to return to his mom's side. At that moment, he was around 12 years old, with the shock of losing his dad.
I believe that LA was going crazy like that, so like me and her was together the day before this, and she like, "So you mean to tell me this your little nephew, cause I gotta listen to the music." I'm like, "Yeah, we finna go kick it with him," cause like, matter of fact, that weekend probably.
In the video, you can see that L.A. Capone was all dripping with his trademark clothes on after losing his father. However, it was during that period that L.A. lost connection with the trenches before going to meet his mother because he started making close ties with Lil Durk and eventually joined the famed Black Disciples gang.
Damn.
which had rappers like Chief Keef and Lil Durk. During this period, he showed his true self as a little kid coming out from the trenches, letting Capone's presence be felt. This was when LA started going deep. His rap bars became crazier, and his ties to the streets were growing deeper. However, before he developed an interest in rap music, he had already been listening to drill music. To those who don't know what drill music is, it originated in Chicago and deals with the day-to-day lives of gang members. Since the lyrics are often based on drugs and violence, drill can often fascinate youngsters. Young Capone, too, was inspired by the gangster lifestyle. He started rolling with guys like Rondo No. 9 and Tay 600 and his crew, who were like his close homies, tagged as ride or die partners.
You know they drumming. Can't wait till the D-Wheels come home.
That boy, went on number 9 doing a 40 ball. I think that boy got 45 years, bro. God damn.
Bro, gonna be on dummy.
Pretty Rose. That's enough, man. Ain't no enough, man. Just nigga, what we got coming, man. 600, man. Rondo, man. Get in the tune, man. Get in the tune, bitch. Take some time, man.
Let's remove what LA got himself involved in from his music career. You would see that if LA focused on music and not had to set his feet in the streets, he would have been the talk of the town to date because he was talented in the rap game. However, once you belong to the streets will always come for you.
That's facts.
That was what LA got himself into because he was now fully engrossed in the streets, making it his second home. He started putting more effort into his music. Together, it seemed like he and Rondo were on track to follow in the same footsteps as Chief Keef and Lil Durk, who were quickly becoming the two biggest stars from Chicago. Everyone knew that LA was going to explode because of his popularity and well-being in the hood. With this, LA started gaining prominence as a social media star, and his official Instagram account gathered more than 100,000 followers. It was the moment he started making music under the name LA Capone, referencing the famous Chicago gangster, Al Capone. LA's first recorded song featured the track Grime with Rondo No. 9 and King Bruce, produced by Lex Luger. Rondo was already creating a buzz in the city with his hard flow and reputation in the streets. But as soon as LA hopped on the track with him, it was clear he also had the talent to make it far in the rap game. From there, LA released his first music video, Murder. His entire gang was in the video, as the music was also about trolling his ops, letting them. This was not the only video he released or was featured because at that point, he was filled with rap bars. So he released another track titled Some More, featuring Huncho Hoodo. His music videos to his social media posts, LA Capone displayed his lifestyle, which included his love for smoking marijuana. He was also inspired by the gangster lifestyle, which was reflected in many of his songs. At first, his mother never believed he was damn serious about becoming a rapper, but as soon as she listened to one of his tracks, 600, LA was evident enough in his bars to prove to his mom that that's what he wanted.
600, when I heard it, I was like, oh yeah, he for real. He for real about this. Like, I remember it was August 2012, and it was my sister. She was having a luau, and she played it for the first time. And I was like, okay, you know, he for real. Like, he got some talent, all right, okay. And yeah, that's when I really started, like, really getting into it and, like, listening and paying more attention to what he was really.
Even back then, his uncle would pay for studio sessions for LA. He would hop into the beat with his rhymes and hard bars. As his fame began to grow, so did his lifestyle, which also came with consequences because in September 2012, LA Capone got shot for the first time. His homie Tay 600 was with him when it all happened. According to the reports, Tay was hanging out around the block with LA and some ninjas. They were all with their guns. That day was so hot that they decided to walk around, leaving some folks behind.
Bro.
On their way to link
Dirt.
up with the other homies,
Damn.
they saw one of their ops, but weren't paying attention. The dude they saw went into a nearby corner store and shot at someone. LA and his homies heard the shots, but didn't know where it came from. A few minutes later, the shooter spotted them outside and started letting out shots, and LA got hit. LA got shot in the leg but survived.
The first time, you know, it was so crazy, right? We was on the block, and me and LA, we was talking and shit the first time he got shot. And we was walking from 600 to Front Street, and we had, like, you know, we had 30s on us and shit. We had a lot of pipes on us, but it was so hot in the hood that day, we was, like, debating, like, if we should walk to Fortnum Hood, because, it's just like any other gang. You know, we clicked up with other hoods and shit that's right next to ours and shit. So we from 600 and, we clicked over Front Street. That's where Fredo Santana from, you know.
Hey, RP
Fredo
Santana.
That was one of our guys, you know what I'm saying? So Fredo Santana from Front Street. But so we was like our hoods like right next to each other. So it was like when we was debating like, man, should we route the Front Street with these pipes? Man, it's hot as hell in the hood, you know? So we ended up leaving the pipes and it was like we was walking and we seen one of the ops, but we didn't even
Sound like Tay 600, bro. Like, I don't know why they blurring his face. Like he got a YouTube channel. He tells stories on his YouTube channel. Check his YouTube channel out. I think it's Tay 600. So he's telling all these stories. So
pay attention, but he belched right out, went in our stove first and let off a shot in our stove. He seen a nigga in our stove. Let off a shot in there. We heard the shot, but we didn't see where it was coming from. All we see, he walk out the stove. He instantly see us as a crowd. We like a half a block away. He up pipe, get the flame and all in our crowd. We just taking off.
That's crazy, bro.
And LA had got hit. And what's so crazy is he got hit trying to run a different way. Like, we was all in the crowd. We all basically shot. We was just walking this way, and we all basically shot back the other way. And LA tried to, like, instead of running on the sidewalk with all of us, he tried to run in the street. And, like, get behind some cars and run on the other side of the street. And I guess the nigga who was shooting at him, he was more focused on him than he was on us. So he was wrong. The first time, this was one of the time he got killed. I was with him when he got shot. All of us was getting shot at and shit. When I turned around, folks was laying in the street. He was stretched out, shot up in the legs and shit. He was just right there. We was talking the whole time. I'm just standing up over him. He like, bro, this shit hurt. Cause that was the first time I ever like seen one of my homies get shot, and they was just like so chill about the shit. But it was like because I didn't know it at the time, but we was getting immune to a lot of that shit because it was happening so often. Like maybe a year or two before that, if that would have happened, I'd have been like, damn, what the fuck? Tweaking out and shit, but it was like, you know, it's coming from Chicago.
That's crazy.
And being in real wars for so long.
Bro, that's crazy as fuck that you adapt to that shit. Like, you ain't worried about us because that's some shit you see every fucking day. If you don't see that shit every day, bro, you gonna be panicking like he said, but he's so used to his mindset adapted to it. He ain't even worried about his partner getting shot. He like, you know, his partner gonna make it 9 times out of 10. Or he his partner got shot. That's something they see every fucking day. That's crazy to fucking think about, bro.
A lot of shit you see, you be like, damn. Like, I shot the first time I was with him. I never even went to the hospital to see folks, like, the first time. Like, it was just like, by time a motherfucker was even, like, thirsty to go up there, it was like, motherfucker already got word, like, oh, yeah, folks be already, you know, like, you feel me, chilling.
I got up to the hospital, he and that bitch having a party.
Yeah, you feel me, like.
He got Gotti up there.
Yeah.
My little homie Gussie before.
Yeah.
It's like, he in that bitch. They running the hospital, you feel me? They going, Gotti, go give me a pop. She had it on lock, you feel me?
Yeah,
she walking into the bathroom, like, all type of little shit, you know what I'm saying? I call up there, bring me 2 double cheeseburgers and a small fry. That was his little meal.
On phone?
Yeah, eat that bitch. He put the fries on the burger.
On the burger.
That's how he used to eat it.
He used to do that shit. Every time at McDonald's. McDonald's. He used to do that shit in McDonald's on phone number.
LA got shot in the leg but survived. He quickly went straight to Twitter, cracking jokes off of it. He said, not only did they shoot my leg, they shot my legs. LAMAO.
It's good to get made because a lot of niggas get leg shot and that bitch hit an artery and you out of there. Or just not even hitting an artery, it's just you hit leg shot and you leave this earth. So
details of the shooting incident suggested that it was likely linked to ongoing gang rivalries between LA Capone 600 set and opposing gangs like STL EBT, which were affiliated with the Gangsta Disciples. These rivalries were fueled by real-life confrontations and ongoing feuds within the music scene, where diss tracks and social media beef intensified existing street conflicts. However, LA was shot again at that same place in the following year. This time, LA would not hold for long because, man, it took his life. LA came out strong with a track like Play for Keeps, with Rondo No. 9, Tay 600, and Durkio. The song served as a diss track for his ops trying to kill him, which got enough views and plays. The 2012 first shooting encounter was just a reminder of how dangerous life could be for young rappers in Chicago, especially those involved in gang-affiliated music. It also highlighted the blurred line between entertainment and real-life violence in the drill scene, where lyrics often directly addressed ongoing conflicts, making artists like LA Capone targets for retribution. Though LA Capone did not get an opportunity to release his mixtape when he was still alive, all fellow rappers and friends released a mixtape named King LA after his death. The mixtape consists of some of Capone's most popular songs, such as Round Here, Play for Keeps, So Loud, and The Get. What really went down that day he died was actually seen as a setup. L.A. Capone was reaching out to label owners wanting to sign him. His death was that before his passing. He had a conversation with his mom about moving to Atlanta because T.I. was chatting him up about signing to Grand Hustle.
Damn.
He also had other label meetings. L.A. never got to see where those meetings would have taken his career because this time, his life was about to come to an end. On September 26, 2013, L.A., 600, JB 400E, and O-Block, Ocho, had court for a trespassing to land case, after which they stopped at home before getting a ride to the studio. His mom spoke to him and got the breakdown of how court went, and L.A. went to the studio to record his pending tracks. That was earlier in the day, but L.A. went to another studio where tragedy struck. L.A.'s uncle, Bleak Capone, discussed with the guy who owns the studio, and they agreed not to let L.A. come through because they suspected some other guys were about to get into some drama with L.A.
So I pick up, like, we gonna go kick with LA today, you know what I'm saying? I go pick him up, it's probably like 8 o'clock. I call this dude at the studio. Now me and him had this was really crazy about it. Me and this dude had an agreement, like, don't never let my nephew come to this studio when somebody else here, because it had already.
Even before that day, L.A. called his homie to come through, but he wasn't picking up his phone the whole time. But later that day, they talked, and he told him not to come because other people were there. L.A.'s goal was to release his mixtape on November 1st, so he wanted to record the song Brother to send to Dirk.
Okay, I called. Bam, he broke. Y'all probably ain't gonna want to come here. I mean, he like, I know you ain't gonna want to come here. There's other people here. I'm gonna call you back like 9:30. L.A. geeking though to get to the studio. He like, man, I gotta get this song did. I gotta get this song did.
Bro, he should have just waited, bro. That shit sad.
And, send it to Dirk. My tape gonna come out on the 1st. You know what I'm saying? This the 25th. You feel me? He's trying to get his shit ready for the 1st.
And this is Brother.
The following day, on the 26th, the dude called, telling L.A. to come for his pending studio session. Still, what's strange is that when L.A. got there, other people were at the studio too, on the normal ground.
Yeah, that's a bad
Previously, he would leave or wait until they were done, but it went differently this time. Bleak's original plan was to stay with L.A. in the studio, but as things turned out differently, he had to leave and come back later, leaving L.A. alone with who knows.
What?
But if he had stayed, things might have turned out different.
I was gonna go to the Hostage studio with him. The nigga, he go upstairs. He up there for like 15 minutes, got me just downstairs waiting. I'm like, damn, bro, what's up? You ain't gonna call and tell a nigga? He like, oh man. Now he tell me like, it's niggas up here. Like, you probably don't want to come bring the little chick up here or whatever. You feel me? He like, I'm just gonna call you tomorrow.
L.A. was in the studio for about 2.5 to 3 hours long. Lil Mick, Rockhead, and Mako, 051 Young Money were hanging together at a barbecue on 51st and Prairie. A few minutes later, Rockhead received a phone call from 757 Hard Knock telling him that L.A. was at the studio dissing 051 Young Money in his song. They decided to kill him and get back for Fats, 051. They contacted Big A and met him at a gas station on 67th and Stony Isle. They split up and drove to the studio in 2 separate vehicles. Both cars parked a few houses from the studio, one on each end of the alley. They parked for about 20 to 30 minutes, waiting for L.A. to leave the studio. L.A. was done recording, so he called J.B. Bin Laden, his homie, to have them move together. Not too long after, J.B. came through and decided to leave from the back of the studio and sit on the steps leading down to the parking lot. L.A. got up and walked to the alley on a phone call, presumably looking for a ride, while Bleak stayed on the steps.
They used the steps of the studio. L.A. got killed coming out of this door right here. The back door of the studio, one room. He had got finished recording. Brothers stepped down these stairs and walked into that alley.
Lil Mick saw L.A. walking into the alley wearing a black hoodie. Then he got out the car and threw shots at L.A., shooting him twice. One in the right lower back, which lodged above his kidney, and the other in his right upper rear thigh and came out of his right inner groin. Before the whole thing started, JB saw the ops creeping out his car and tried to warn L.A., but they had already shot him 2 times.
Damn.
Court. We went to court the day that he got killed. That day we went to court in the morning.
So you was actually at the same studio too?
Yeah.
At that?
Yeah, I don't know.
So what happened? Like, when did y'all end up separating?
We ain't not really separated.
Excuse me.
until he walked off the porch. I tell you.
But the dude like a bitch.
So when the actual shooting occurred, like you was still in the area, or you found out afterwards? So you was on the porch.
Take it, man, like lurking, you know?
Yeah. But it's basically like, was you close enough to hear what happened?
Ironically, when he got shot the second time, the dude that shot him, he like shot him in the same area as the first wound.
Oh, wow.
And it was like when they shot him that time, it's like he kind of bled to death because it kind of reopened the old wound. And, you know, the bullet was still in him from the first time he got shot, so it kind of like triggered some whole other shit when he got shot the next time, and he basically like bled out. They couldn't stop the
L.A. hit the ground. Lil Mick proceeded to stand over L.A. when it appeared that his gun had run out of bullets.
Damn.
He fled up north the alley and returned to the car. Then both vehicles drove away. JB got up and ran to L.A. trying to help him, screaming, "Bro, you good, bro?" L.A. knew this time he wasn't gonna make it, because he said the words, "Bro, tell my mom and them I love them. I don't think I'm gonna make it."
Shit.
I'm mad as hell.
Then like I asked JB, like, JB, was he talking? JB like, yeah, he was talking. That made me feel good. But then when JB was like, he said, like, bro, tell my mom and them I love them, bro. I don't think I'm gonna make it.
That nigga knew, boy.
Like that completely threw me.
Yeah. That nigga knew, bro. God damn, that's fucked up.
Whole threw me off. You feel me?
Yeah, I heard that shit.
It went from like up a high then a low. Like I'm like, he was talking. JB like, yeah, he was talking. But then he was like, but he said, bro, tell my mama I love her. I don't think I'm gonna make it. And woo woo, you know. So that fucked me all.
L.A. was rushed to the hospital, though he was still conscious when they arrived, stating that a car pulled up in the alley. He then heard 5 to 6 shots when he got hit. The shooter, also wearing a black hoodie, ran back to the car, and they had all fled. When asked if they could identify who shot him, he said, "I don't know." L.A. lost consciousness in the ambulance and never regained it before his death during surgery at around 8:30 p.m. Later that night, all 4 involved in the hit met at Washington Park, where they discussed that they had successfully killed L.A. His death made headlines, and his mom and family were not able to bear the loss. It was so heartbreaking hearing his mom talking about his son lying helpless in his bed before he died. Even when she recalls the last message L.A. got across to reach her, tears would start creeping down from her eyes after realizing he was not going to make it. It was so sad that a young, talented man just ended his career due to gang affiliations. During the aftermath of L.A.'s death, Rondo No. 9, L.A.'s homie, was going through it and waiting for the perfect opportunity to get back on L.A., which later came the following year. February 14th, 2014, after an altercation happened involving a shorty they knew. Unfortunately, he and C-Day ended up murdering the wrong person, an innocent taxi driver, Javon Boyd, and he faced.
But as you can see, RP to that boy L.A. Capone. I know it's been about almost 10 years that boy been gone. I think almost 10, maybe. Yeah, cause that boy, that was like 2012, 15, I think. Damn, that been a long time, bro. God rest that man's soul, bro. But like up, sub to the channel. That's not a banger for the day, bro. Like I say, shout out to that boy L.A. Capone. He had some jams. My boy. Damn.